Hello and welcome to the Furreal podcast. The show that discusses music, film, and most importantly, fairies. I'm your host Matthew, also known as Matthew Feels Rough. And today for the 5th episode, I think, or the 18th episode out of everything. I literally miscount like so much, I don't even know. I'm joined with p1xelpengu1n, who is a furry Twitch streamer. Hi, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Up 30 minutes ago, so that's cool.
It's morning for you, isn't it? So
yeah, I'm an American, yeah.
Yeah, American, man. Compared to me, it's like 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. for me.
Yeah, it's 12:30
I've
for
just
me.
been chilling.
Yeah, it's so great over here.
I haven't really been doing much today. I've just been like doing recordings and just vibing, I guess, to be honest. Just not really doing much.
As you should.
I've been trying to as I should, you know. I've been trying to get more organized, but me and organization just don't really fit very well, surprisingly. So obviously you do Twitch stuff. So like,
yes.
have you been playing Overwatch 2? Because I've just started playing it. Or not.
I played it once on stream.
Mm-hmm.
I played it a bunch off stream, and it's fun. But
Yeah.
I stream off a laptop. It's a good laptop.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a good laptop. But like certain games, I can't VTube and game. I have to switch to be a PNG instead of a live model. And I didn't realize that, so the whole stream was kind of laggy. But it's fun. I haven't played Overwatch in years. Like I played Overwatch 1 for a couple hundred hours. It's like one of my first PC games. And then
that's what I was like as well.
So, yeah,
like I hadn't played it for ages and just got back into it. I've just been placed in my competitive rank. I got fucking bronze 3. It's like the 3rd worst rank. I'm actually so shit.
No. There's a bit of a glitch going around where the game is placing you lower than you should have, or than you should be in a lot of situations. So they're working on a fix for that. So you're probably not as bad as you think.
Okay, that's my excuse then. That's my excuse for my other rank, I guess.
Yeah.
I've never been that good at FPS, to be honest. Like, I've always been stuck in, like, silver for CS and stuff. Smash Bros. Is where I'm good at games. That's my only game I can say I'm okay at.
You know how, like, the DPS is supposed to do the damage, right?
Yeah.
And, like, the tank is supposed to, like, anchor and, like, stay alive and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the character Sigma?
Yeah. Is Sigma a tank or a DPS?
A tank. I got 13,000 damage with it.
That's crazy. What the fuck? I play Zarya, so I play a tank as well. So, what I don't understand though, when I play with fucking people, it's like when you play like comp with people, and I don't know like the etiquette of like Overwatch comp, but like fucking hell, people were like changing characters every 5 minutes, and I'm like, you're like resetting your ult by doing that, and it's like also
hopefully
just stick to a fucking character.
Hopefully they were only doing that after they used their ult.
Yeah, literally, I hope so. Anyway, enough about Overwatch. Let's get into the nitty gritty of the convo.
Oh my
so,
goodness.
if you want to like introduce yourself and what you do, in how you link to furry, how you start becoming a quote unquote furry, because we were talking about this, how like you wouldn't really say you were a furry, but you feel like you've kind of joined the community a little bit. So you go for it.
There's like 2 questions. So do you want me to talk about like who I am first or that first?
Go who you are first. All
right, cool. So I am at p1xelpengu1n. I'm currently a college/university student, and I do silly things on Twitch mainly, and I've started going into YouTube, and I'm like very basic as in like I guess amateur is a better word, like artist and pianist, and I'm decent at video games. So you know, you just come for average Joe, but my penguin model's cute. But yeah, that's kind of what I stream. Yeah. Like stumbling over my words.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do.
No, don't worry about it.
So I started streaming a year and almost a half ago. Yeah, a year and a half. And at the beginning, my username was p1xelpengu1n. I was not a furry. I did not identify with furries. I thought furries were weird, actually. Like I was like one of those like anti-furry people where it was like, ew, furry, what?
Oh, okay.
Vomit.
Yeah.
And then it's like the only exposure to the fandom I had seen was in high school, and it was this really, really, really weird kid. Like really, really weird. Like he was just one of the weirdest individuals I've ever met, and he'd wear like a 15-foot long tail that would like drag across the ground. Like,
oh god.
And I was just like, what the hell? Like, so
no, I feel that.
You know, like if that's my only exposure, I was just like, what the heck? I don't like that group. And so then I start streaming under the name p1xelpengu1n, and then
Yeah.
using this like really, really basic PNG tuber that I had like drawn 3 hours. And it was like a really basic penguin. And just because I really like penguins, and I was like trying to come up with an idea. I was like, penguins. And then as it went on, I was like, I kind of want to do VTubing. And then I got a penguin model. Like, so, you know, it was like a humanoid penguin model. It's like literally the antithesis of a fursona. And I was like, still not a furry. And then people started coming into my stream, and like they started asking me that. And I'd be like, and then like every time I'd have to be like, no, I'm not, and like do the whole long explanation. And so at one point I was just like, bro, even though I know I'm not, I'm gonna put the furry tag on my stream so people stop asking, and I can like stop spending all the stream saying this. And then just like over time, I kind of just became a furry because the furry tag brought furries to my stream. And I'm like a penguin, which is rare. And so they're just like, oh, that's cool. And they're like the nicest people ever. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, yes. Then I kind of started owning it.
I can't believe you started being a furry because of a marketing ploy, man. You just wanted more viewers.
Literally, dude. I was like, and it was like my original model was so gross. It was like, I didn't know how to go about commissioning one. And so I just like put out on Twitter, like, hey, I need a model artist. I have like 10 followers, by the way. And with like all the people who like have their like little search features that like look for keywords and tweets. Like I got like 30 comments on that tweet. I was like, holy shit. And so like I picked one, and you know, it was like it wasn't crazy expensive, but it also wasn't cheap. And what they did is they retextured a human model to look like a penguin. So it was like they basically just melded the nose back into the face and the ears back into the face, and then like it was really bad. And I had a massive forehead, but I was a VTuber.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so I've gotten a better one recently, but yeah, that's how I started.
That's crazy. I mean, VTubing and all that stuff is like so just like I guess abnormal. I mean, like I'm not. I think I'm not really like massive into like Twitch streamers and stuff. I mean, I do editing for Twitch streamers, doing freelance and stuff, but like all this VTuber stuff is just like completely over my head. Do you want to like explain what a VTuber is for people that don't know?
Yeah, totally. So I guess actually, what is it? I don't even know what it stands for. A virtual tuber? I guess like
I guess so,
I guess how like a vlog is like a video log. I don't I don't know what it stands for, but it's like instead of using like your face or like streaming with your face, you stream through a model, and like it's like either a 3D or a 2D model, and basically you still need a webcam, and the webcam does face tracking of your actual face, but it makes those motions and like face movements appear on the model. So it ends up being a really expensive thing to purchase because you have to get an artist to draw everything for you, and then either the same artist or separate artist to rig, which is the term for making the art move. So it's like, it can be very expensive to get into. And like some of the higher end models can cost multiple thousands of dollars. But it's like, it's just like how streaming with your face is more personable. It's streaming as a character is more personable than like a PNG that just switches between two images, you know? So
I totally get the expense of it though, because I think I remember when I went to Confuzzle, so furry convention in the UK, they had at the dealer's den, somebody was selling like VTuber models, and it was like really expensive, and I was like, holy shit, it's like crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I realized it's like a full-on 3D model, so like it makes sense.
But then it's like
it's that much.
It's like exactly perfectly aligns with the furry fandom because they can stream as their sonas, which is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I find a lot of VTubers as well are like a very like anime as well. But I think it kind of works with both kind of styles of characters.
Does, yes.
It's all about like, I mean, a persona is like an online persona of yourself, so that works well within kind of. I mean, I guess it's like branding. I mean, it's always this thing of like furries being mascots, so it can be applied to something like Twitch streams. Definitely.
Like there's the two types of VTubers are 2D, 3D. There's 3D models. And the 3D programs like that run the 3D models for VTubing have a little bit better expression support. I'll say, like when I was
Yeah.
using my 3D model, I was literally able to give the program like training data of my face so that it would more accurately like display my emotions. Whereas like
Yeah.
the 2D one, nothing's automatic. I have to use keybinds for my expressions, but like it still tracks my mouth and eyes and like blinking and stuff like that. But like if I wanted to make the angry expression happen, it doesn't happen when I like furrow my eyebrows. It only happens when I like press a hotkey. It's like, there's trade-offs, but like
Okay, yeah.
there's trade-offs, but my like I'm currently doing 2D and it currently looks a lot better than the 3D one. But like I feel like when I have money, I might go back to 3D because I think to get a good 3D model is going to be very expensive. So
I think one VTuber that comes to mind for me that's furry is that like Hi, I'm Chris'em guy, the Chris guy.
Trust you,
the otter, yeah. See them on my feed all the time.
Same.
I think it's just because they do viral clips and stuff like that.
They stream a lot and they're a pretty big furry creator.
What kind of games do you like play then? Do you play like a variety of stuff?
I'm a variety. I probably should have said that. I'm a variety streamer. And
say a little variety streamer. We'll love to see.
But I play mainly FPS. So for a while it was Apex. So like basically my requirement to play a video game is that I have friends to play it with. I'm just like literally I don't know. I just don't find playing single player games fun. Like unless it's like occasionally on stream. Like I played Call to the Lamb, the completion.
But like that's what I'm editing for my stream at the moment.
It's very fun. It's a very good game. But I played I play mainly like FPS games like Valorant, Apex. So I don't really play Apex because I don't have friends playing it right now. So I'm mainly playing Valorant, and then the occasional single player game and other multiplayer games that aren't shooters. So
yeah, I find it the same in terms of playing games. Like my girlfriend Jade, she like loves single player games, but like I'm like exactly the opposite. Like I fucking love my multiplayer games. I need mates to play games with. I think I've definitely like as I've gotten older, I've like played games a lot less, and I find myself gravitating towards just ones that I can use as both a way to play games and a way to catch up with friends who are online as well.
That's exactly.
And I think I feel like it's easier as a streamer to kind of generate entertainment with your mates as well. I guess
so much easier.
Yeah,
like whenever I'm sitting there like playing a game alone, and like I start focusing. I realize that I haven't been talking for 30 seconds, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm being boring.
Because I know a lot of it relies on the persona of the person that's streaming, but I think what helps is that support of characters. I mean, I guess it is like having a form of entertainment as long as your friends are like chill and like, oh, fucking
my friends are great.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually play most streams with my roommate.
Oh, okay.
And our friend who lives the floor below us, because we live in a university dorm.
Yeah.
So, like, it's so funny. Like, my noise gate is so high. Like, you do not understand. Like, if I go into my Discord settings, it's like over halfway up. Like, because he sits right next to me. Like, basically.
It's like a little LAN. It's like a LAN party of a Twitch stream.
Literally, it is. Yeah, and I got him into streaming too, which is really cool. But yeah, it's definitely like I don't know. It's just I could be if I'm playing a game alone, I also like start to feel like bad. Like I'd be like, hey, like I could be working on my hobbies or like doing something productive.
Yeah.
But like you know what I mean? Like instead of playing this game alone, like what's the point?
I think it also helps like when you're with like flatmates or roommates that kind of coincide with your interests as well, because like all of my flatmates in my second and third year accommodation were film students, and they liked when I did my podcast. Cool. So when I used to be like, yo, I'm gonna record a podcast episode, can you guys like keep it down, they'd be like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry. Like they know
like
my stuff. Yeah, compared to my first year accommodation, which fucking sucked, and like I feel like if I asked somebody to be quiet, they just would not be quiet. So
like me and my roommate, so we've been roommates since we moved in, which was last year. And so our third friend had a roommate who was like basically like if it's not like perfectly silent in the room, they like can't focus at all.
Oh, okay.
And so she had to like either play silently with us or like go out and set up in the common room, which is like sometimes taken. And it was just like not the greatest situation.
Yeah, definitely not. Let's like talk more about furry stuff. So like obviously, how long would you say you've said you've been a furry for, and how much of like the kind of community have you indulged in? Because I feel like I've talked to loads of furries that are like, I've been in the fandom for like 10 years. But like, I feel like you are definitely not the case of that at all. Seeming as you said, you kind of started becoming one when you started streaming.
All right. It's been 4 months.
4 months? What the fuck? You're a
like,
new one, man. You're a new furry.
Since I like started saying like to people if they asked, like like and owning it, it's been like 4 months. Like it basically halfway through the summer.
Have you had like much opportunity to like get any art commissioned and stuff like that?
I've spent so much money.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh god, that's what happens instantly. I feel
so like first of all, I'm like I was lucky enough to have like a pretty well-paying internship over the past summers. So like I have money to spend on art and like not that many expenses because still college student.
Yeah.
So like first commission is like first commission ever was the 3D model for VTubing, and then the 2D model, and then I've just done a bunch of art since then. And I'm like trying to get better at drawing my own Sona so I don't have to commission art. But yeah, I've spent a bit too much money on art commissions. I have to like I can't scroll Twitter. I have to calm down because just every single day it's just like 9 YCHs that I want. I'm like, please.
I feel like with furry commissions, that always happens when you start becoming one. When I first started making my Twitter and finding like so many artists, I was like, I'm spending so much money on commissions. But compared to now, now I just like, I'm not really spending that much money on commission stuff, to be honest, and I'm just chilling. I haven't got much art in a while, or either that or like, I feel like you make a lot of friends that'll just be like, I was just bored, so I'll draw your Sona. And I'm like, holy shit, yes, thank you.
Like, I actually have a decent amount of artist friends, but none of them are furries. So, L.
L. You gotta get them to draw your penguin, man.
I have gotten 2 emotes out of 1.
Yeah! Gotta get those emotes in. What else can we say? Do you think... Yeah, I know you're only 4 months in, and when I started being a furry, I was like, I'm a furry, and I want to get my character, my little dog guy, drawn in fashion, and like get out of that. But I am never ever gonna go to a convention, and I'm never ever gonna get a suit. Have any of those two things crossed your mind yet, or are you just chilling for now?
I'm actually curious, really quick, reverse question. Okay. What about you?
What about me?
Because you said you started not wanting to go to conventions, not wanting to do any of that.
Well, I've been to one convention. I went to Confuzzled, which is the big furry convention in the UK. And I think I mentioned on like previous episodes that was my first interaction with furries in real life, apart from when I went to a gig in Manchester in March, which was a couple of months before Confuzzled, where I met furries to go to a Drain Gang gig, which is like a Swedish rap group. And that was like, I messaged him, I put on Twitter, like, is anyone else going to the Drain Gang gig? And like loads of furries like, yeah, so we made a group chat for it. And I was pretty worried. I was like, what if all these people are like absolute freaks? But then they ended up being like my best friends. I was like, what if they end up being like the fucking people from like that person from our high school that like ended up wearing a 15-foot tail? But luckily they were nice, chill people who just look like art students. So I vibe with them very much so.
That's perfect.
So
basically I was kind of just like, I'm a furry now, smiley face, and then like I was like, definitely don't want a fursuit, like and then kind of indifferent. I didn't know if I wanted to go to a convention. I was like still at home, like I don't know, I just didn't really feel like comfortable, I guess, exploring. So like I'm back at school and I'd be completely down to go to a convention. I joined the furry club at my university, and so I'm probably going to go to convention in March with them.
That's good. And it's good that you're
not anti-fursuit, but like I don't think I would at this point do that.
No, that's fair.
Even if I had one.
Yeah, I feel like if I was like I said, when I was in your position when I just started becoming a furry, I was like, no, I'm never going to get a suit, and now I'm like planning to get one. But it'll just give me some time. Just give me some time, and you will. Oh, it's been a long day.
Like I will say I've seen some on Twitter that are like very, very cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm mainly talking about the ones that are like pretty form fitting. So it's like they're not like they're form fitting enough that people wear normal clothes over them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it looks a bit more. So it's like not real. It's not realistic as in like it looks more like a real tiger, but more realistic as in like it looks less like a drawn character has been put over someone and more like that's actually them.
So
but
there's
they're
like
still cute.
yeah, so
you
there's
know
like
what I mean?
there's like partial suits which are just like head,
Yeah,
hands,
I
and
know,
tail
I know, I
stuff.
know about some of that stuff.
Yeah. And then there's obviously plantigrade and digigrade. And I started off being like, I just want a partial suit, but now I'm like, I won my
Yeah,
friend's full suit like last week in London. And I was like, I actually really want a full suit now. It's really cool. It's
like I feel
just the
like
furry pipeline, man.
I feel like I need to uh like try one
Hmm.
before I'd be convinced to spend my own money
Yeah.
on. It
I,
just seems like a bit too much money
yeah.
for something that I'm not 100% confident about.
Definitely. It's an insane investment. Like, I'm like bewildered by people who become furries and they're like, wow, instantly want a
Boom,
fursuit.
fursuit.
Like, that's my Jess, who I talked on the second episode of this season, was like, I found out about furries and I instantly want a fursuit. And like, I think it's super cool, but at the same time, I'm
It's kind of
like,
just like
it's
advanced cosplay.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy how much money it is. But at the same time, like
Yeah.
going back to your furry club at your school, I think it's fantastic that you have that, because I feel like it was very daunting for me to go to Confuzzled because it's the biggest furry convention in the UK, and I only went with one friend, and I found it was really fun, but I also found it like very overwhelming. And that's because usually before people go to big conventions, they'll go to like the local fur meets that are in their area. And I'd never been to
Yeah.
any of those before. And I feel like that's something that you could look at with that club, or even the club in general is your fur meet. And it'll get you used to kind of socializing with
exactly.
other furries before you're just like thrown in the deep end and there's just people in dog costumes like all around you and you're there for the weekend. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I'm not really a socially anxious person.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people like the fandom because it's easier to interact online,
Yeah.
like with Sona. Like just I'm just like I am not that socially anxious.
Mhm.
It's like, but it is nice though to be probably going to convention with like 20 other furries from my
Definitely.
club for the first time.
I think it'd be daunting for anyone,
I
really.
think just going to a big convention just in general is just stressful.
Yeah, definitely.
But
There's just so
not
much
for
going
me,
on.
not for social anxiety.
No,
But
there's just so much
just
going on.
because,
It would be daunting for anyone, you know.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just a lot. But it definitely seems cool.
Hmm.
Because like I'm still at the point where like when I'm there in person,
Yeah.
I am like very reserved and quiet
Yeah.
because like I'm so used to like not like talking about it or like sharing it with people.
Yeah.
I have to like continuously remind myself that they are literally all furries and that like it's okay. And I don't know, it's weird.
So
It's
weird,
like
isn't it? Because
the
like
mental barrier.
before, I went to a London fur meet a few months back, and I was hanging out with people in like a house that we were all staying at, my friend Saf's house, and all the conversation was just furry stuff, and I was like, this just seems like a normal friend group, but we're all just talking about furry stuff, and I'm like, where is this barrier? It's just so weird, and I was not used to it at all
Yeah.
because I'd never had a furry friend group before. Like, I think I mentioned it before on a different podcast episode. I don't have a lot of furry friends that are like solid furry friends. I do now,
Hmm.
but I would say before Confuzzled, the furry convention, I didn't really like. I had quite a lot of online furry friends, but they're very primarily from America, so didn't really have an opportunity to meet up. But I
Yeah.
think over the kind of months of graduating from uni and kind of expanding my like friend groups and stuff, I've found a little furry friend group that I'm really happy with. Because there's some people who like know fucking everybody, and it's like she'll show their fursuit to someone, and they'll go, oh yeah, I know that maker, and I know that person, and I know that person's girlfriend. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, I've got no idea who these people are. Like, I'm just like,
I am definitely not met anyone like that yet.
you will, trust me, you will.
Yeah, I currently only have one furry mutual,
Mm-hmm.
and they're online. I think they also live on the east coast of the US.
Yeah.
I don't know where, and they're pretty busy, so
Yeah.
I don't get to talk to them much. But yeah, I have not, or not counting anyone from the club. I only have one
Yeah.
furry mutual. But I personally, the people in the club, I don't vibe with that much.
Mhm.
To be completely honest with
No,
you,
I get that.
like I'm like so like for my major, like I'm a computer science student. It's
Mhm.
funny because they make computer science students take a communications class
Yeah.
because we're all socially inept. So like I'd like to say I'd like to think that I am a more socially adept person, like compared to my peers.
Well, yeah,
And
yeah. You're on here doing a
I just
podcast
like,
episode, so
oh yeah,
you're
totally.
proving it.
I'm just great, but like, but like when I'm like when I'm like in person there, I'm just like one, like already reserved and quiet,
Mhm.
which is not my like MO. Like I am not usually reserved and quiet. I'm
Yeah.
usually very loud. And so I'm like paying more attention to other people than I usually do.
Mhm.
And I just realized I'm like, damn, all of these people are socially awkward. I'm like, and so I'm just kind of like, I keep going because like I need to get used to it, but I'm just
Mhm.
like, like,
Yeah, I felt the same when I started going into the Smash Bros scene. I think there's some absolutely lovely people in the Smash scene in the UK, but at the same time, like some of my close friends that I've met through the Smash scene. But at the same time, there are just some people who just won't talk to you,
yes.
especially when you play sets. Like if I play a set and I'm like, I'm so bubbly, and I'll be like asking them questions and stuff, and they'll be like super serious, like I need to win this set, and I'm just like, dog, it's a fucking game, and like it's literally first round. Like just chill. We'll go Pokemon Stadium 2. We'll just chill. Just doesn't matter.
My school also has Smash tournaments. I went to a few of them, and it would be like either one, like the person was like so like weird and socially awkward that I'm just like, okay, like God, get me out of here, or they'd be like awesome, or they wouldn't wear deodorant. It's just like, bro,
There's
like, what are
there's
you?
no in between. You know what's so funny is that people, like, I'm not even trying to like suck myself off here, but somebody said to me, it was like, you are the stereotypical, like, you play Smash competitively and you're a furry. You are meant to not dress well and you're meant to smell bad, but you are you are always they're like, yeah, this Smash player that I was talking about this with was like, you are always the nicest, Matthew. You're always the best dressed at the Smash tournaments, and you also always smell so good. And I'm like, yeah, that is a fucking compliment, you know.
Yes, sir.
I'm breaking the stereotypes of furries and Smash
Hey,
players, you know.
If you go to a Smash tournament and you put on deodorant, you're already above 90%.
I'm putting on deodorant. I'm obviously showering. I'm putting on my silly little Lush spray, you know.
Oh my goodness!
I pull up in a fit. I'll go 0-2 and leave. That's my, you know.
I pull up in my Daisy dress with my Daisy controller and Daisy Switch.
Yeah. Just the
that
combination.
actually happened.
That rocks.
There's someone with like a full Daisy, like their case, their stand, their controller, their shirt were all Daisy, like the character, and then they had a Daisy plush sitting next to their Switch as well.
Maybe they're just kin Daisy, you know?
And then they played Daisy, and then they played Daisy, and they absolutely sauced on me, and I was just like, oh my god.
So I'm going home now. See you later.
I actually went home.
Sake.
I actually did. I was like, no, I can't be disrespected like this. I just walked out.
But no, shout out to the Smash Bros. Northeast scene, because the Northeast scene are lovely. Like the scene in Newcastle, like lovely. Some of my like best mates are from there. But some regionals I've been to, which are like 120 people, and they come from around the area, just don't fucking speak. There's just some people that just don't interact with you at all, and it's just so fucking awkward. But, you know, that happens at any sort of nerdy convention, you know, there's always going to be people like that, and it's fine. It's fine if it's, you know.
Exactly.
It's whatever. Yeah. We'll round off by talking about your Twitch streaming again, and, like, what your kind of goals are. Like, obviously, are you doing regular Twitch streams now, or are you finding it hard now that you're back at school and stuff?
I'm doing 2 a week. I was doing daily over the summer, but I'm doing 2 a week now because of, school. You said goals?
Yeah, like in terms of like, is there anything you want to aim for, or like anything you want to start doing? Because you were talking about changing between VTuber stuff, obviously going from 2D to 3D models, and then is there any more? Obviously, you're a variety streamer, but are you wanting to get back into like properly playing Apex and stuff, or are you like?
Like, I'm very content with my current model. I love the artists that I have, and I love the model. I'm just saying that I that earlier bit was I think I just prefer 3D models, but they're way more expensive for a good one. So, but I think goal-wise, it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, I want to grow, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, not really for the money. Like, the money would be cool because then because I like buying tech, but it's expensive. So like, if I was buying tech from money that I got from gaming, I'd feel less bad. Like, you know, I wouldn't feel as guilty. So like, that's a positive. But like, I've had a lot of people that like, or like returning viewers that just like, I don't know. It's just, even though like, I don't always like see it directly, I do feel like I'm like helping people, you know, like the first time, it was a few months ago, the first time like someone was like, I don't remember the exact thing they said, but they basically were like blah 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 blah, like comfort streamer, and I'm like, wait, I'm your comfort streamer? I was like, what? Like, wait, whoa,
That's like a big thing as well. Like that's what
uh,
like, it's like it's such like it's like an outer body thing in a sense that like I'm just doing this podcast for the crack. Like I'm just doing it for the banter. Like I don't
mhm.
really care about how many. I mean, little to none of the videos are monetized. I'm not even eligible for monetization because I don't have enough like viewership
exactly.
or whatever, and a lot of them are copyright struck because of the little like inserts to do in between. But I like that
Yeah.
because that's the style I want to do and that's how I want to break up the podcast. But people are like, oh, I listen to your podcast on the way to work or on the way to uni, and I'm like, people, I know I'm making
And like it
this,
inspires people.
yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, people are going out their way to listen to it that aren't my close
Yeah.
friends. Like somebody will DM me on Twitter and
Yeah,
be like,
exactly.
yo, I love your stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like someone I don't know likes my shit. What?
It's
I'm
really
just doing
cool.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't think I like personally like what I'm doing like inspirational per se. But like that first time someone was basically like it was basically like I went live but late and they were like, "Oh my god, thank goodness you're live. I had a bad day." And I was like,
Oh,
"Aw." I was
that's
like
so nice though.
it's so like I feel like for like my follow count, I actually have like a pretty decent like returning viewers.
Hmm.
Like I won't name the streamer, but it's like one of my favorite streamers. They have about 13,000 followers and they average 40, 50 people,
Hmm.
which is like not a good return, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like I currently have just under 300 on Twitch and I average 8 through 10.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
So like I think I'm doing all right, but like, but yeah, I'm trying to because like I've done everything growth wise basically through Twitch. So
Mhm.
it's been a year and a half and I'm only at 300 followers. So
Yeah.
it's like horrible. So like I'm finally getting into YouTube. I'm like I guess goal would be to post 2 videos a month. Apparently there's one coming up a month and I want to be a bit more consistent and make cool content there so that more people find me and be like, this penguin's amazing.
Well, if you need anyone to do your Twitch highlights, you know where I'm at. So, you know.
So what's funny is I already have an editor.
Oh, nice.
He's just super slow, and I pay him in Adobe Creative Cloud and $10 video until my
rocks.
YouTube makes money.
That rocks.
No, literally. So like he's so my best friend, who's currently a college sophomore,
Yeah.
was a Boy Scout,
Mhm.
and then his friend, who's currently a high school junior, was like he's really close friends with him, like through the troop.
Yeah.
And so basically, when I was like complaining about needing an editor, my friend put me in contact with him,
Mhm.
and because he's in high school, I'm like giving him a bit of money, like 10 a video, because I feel bad,
Yeah.
but also like I'm paying for an entire Adobe Creative Cloud subscription,
Yeah.
which as a student for me it's only $20,
Mhm.
which I think $20 is closer to like 15 pounds for perspective.
Yeah.
But like it's like $20 and a month, and I'm allowed to have 2 devices. So
Yeah.
it's my computer and his computer on my account. So I'm like paying him in Adobe Creative Cloud and $10 a video.
Yeah.
And then once my YouTube gets monetized, we'll work out some way to
Mhm.
split the revenue.
That's
Because
good.
like I don't really need the money, but so like you know if it gets him to edit faster.
And it's nice to support your mate as well. I mean, I was in a similar situation where I got Adobe Creative Cloud for free with my uni because my
Yes.
degree went during COVID, so we had to do a lot of the post-production
Mhm.
editing like sessions outside of uni, so I had to have it. And obviously I've graduated now, so they've stopped my free Adobe and they've like closed my account. But then my girlfriend currently does model making and SFX work at uni, and like I was like talking to her, and I was like, Jade, can I just like mooch off your Creative Cloud, mate? So now I'm using her Creative Cloud, and it's a 2-device one as well, and she just uses it for uni, and I use it for editing
Awesome.
work. I know I can pirate it, but I'm such a fucking dumbass when it comes to pirating. I recently tried to pirate some of the Adobe After Effects plugins that I need, which I still don't have because I'm struggling with it, and I almost gave my computer a fucking Trojan, so I was like, never again.
I'm just not gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna pay for it. But because like eventually my YouTube money will pay for it, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been using the same basic stream intro and like BRB screen, and actually I don't even have an outro. Well, I've been using them from like this like free pack I got.
Nice.
Like back when I started streaming, and like I'm finally making a new one, and I'm doing it in After Effects, and it's kind of cool. Like,
After Effects is sick.
I'm like, After Effects is so cool.
When it works, it's good. When it works, it's good. Honestly,
well, like
it fucks me off when it doesn't.
It took me 3 practice projects to get it to work, because like the way it works is like, you know, the keyframes, and so I'd be like moving a shape, and then I'd move my cursor away, and then I'd like bring the time bar back to like that same spot aligned with the keyframe to adjust it, because I'm like, I don't like where it ended. And then what I don't realize is I'm zoomed out so far that even though it looks like it's aligned with the keyframe, it's actually not on the same frame. And so then when I play the video, it'll do this like really fast like jump or teleport, and I'm like, huh? I didn't tell it to do that. And like I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I kept like scrapping these projects, and like this past one, I finally realized what that problem was, and I was able to fix it. And so I've gotten the farthest I've got in an After Effects project. So I'm pretty happy.
Nice. I mean, that's a good segment transition of what we can close on for this part, which is like, you've been working with like animation stuff as well on the side, haven't you? Because you were showing me. How have you been finding that? Have you been doing that through AE, or have you been doing that through like other programs?
So there's all the stuff that I should use Procreate.
Oh, okay.
Just very simple, like basic animation, and all the art I do is through Procreate. And then, because I don't have the drawing tablet, it's for like the computer. And then After Effects I'm using because like I am not about to animate a 5-minute long frame by frame video. Like, even if it's simple, no, not doing that in Procreate. It's not meant for that. So I was like, okay, what's good for animation? I like Googled it, and like After Effects came up, and I'm like, oh, I have Creative Cloud. Boom. I started using After Effects. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, ooh, 60 frames and motion blur without me doing any work. Let's go.
But it's good that you have a kind of like array of software knowledge as well, because I feel like I've been always very Premiere Pro, After Effects, Audacity, not really learn anything. But recently I had to edit some of the podcast episodes like on my MacBook because I was away from my desktop. In Audacity is fucking dog shit on a Mac. So I was like, I'm going to try and do on Audition. And I was learning how to edit with Adobe Audition whilst trying to get a podcast episode out. And it was very stressful, but because of that, I now know how to use Audition, which is more intricate with editing, I guess. So it's always good to know that stuff.
I personally started editing on DaVinci. Which is really great. Then I started using Premiere. And then when I tried to load a 4-hour VOD into Premiere, it would take like 10 minutes. And then my computer isn't strong enough to handle, like, because I have a very strong computer, but it's a laptop. Like, it's not a bad computer at all, but it's still a laptop. And I'll load it in, and then it will be like, when I do the playback, it'll look great. But as soon as I have more than one video track, it'll just like not work. Like the playback will just be so incomprehensible. I can't tell what my video looks like. And so in order to make it work, I have to turn the video into a proxy. And then that will take like an hour for a 4-hour VOD. So I'm like, before I can start editing, it's basically like an hour and a half of just importing the footage. And that is enough. That is way more than enough time to just make me never edit because I'm busy and I don't have an hour and a half. Like when I sit down to edit, I'm like, okay, I have an hour or I have 2 hours to edit. And then if I spend all of that waiting for the footage to import. So basically I switched back to DaVinci.
That's the joys of editing, man. That's the joys of editing.
So I'm probably never going to use Procreate unless until I get a desktop with like a really, really powerful CPU and a bunch of RAM.
That's true, the joys of editing. My old desktop used to be like that. I used DaVinci for color correction mostly, but it is also good.
That's what it's used for in the industry. Like but industry standard for color correction.
It has good cutting and timeline stuff. I had to do it once for a project college, and it was cool. We're on 44 minutes, so we'll move on to the music choice of this week, which is Music of the Spheres by Coldplay. I found this like super interesting because I'm gonna
it's a really cool album.
It's a cool album. I mean, I didn't like. I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be a bit harsh at the start. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I thought I would. But I have not listened to
Fair
Coldplay in absolutely ages. But before I say what I like and dislike about it or whatever, you can go through why you picked it in some stuff that you like.
Okay,
it's your choice.
So, me personally, I have always just really, I've always liked Coldplay.
Mhm.
Like when I was like a kid, my favorite song was "Viva La Vida."
Yeah.
Like and like just ever since I was little, like I've always been stubborn, and like my family, most of them listen to like certain types of music, and it's either because I'm like an asshole or I'm stubborn, I don't know, but like I just don't enjoy the same music as my family.
Yeah.
But Coldplay is one thing that we all like kind of have in common.
Mm-hmm.
So when they did their Music of the Spheres concert, my parents asked me, and I'm like, yes, I'll come to that. So it's the only concert I've been to. It was freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was so well done. It was just an amazing concert. And so like they played all of their music from this album, and then they like their like the top hits like Paradise and what's it called, the one with the music video that's like the monkeys dancing, Adventure of a Lifetime. that one.
Yeah.
But so it's like, I don't know, it kind of has like, Coldplay has a lot of like, I guess, sentimental value.
Mm-hmm.
And then also this is the first album that I like actually like looked into like the history of. Like I actually like looked at it for like this album, and it's really cool because I was like, why is it called Music of the Spheres? It doesn't make sense. And then each song it's cool because like each song is a different planet. Like, and on Spotify too, if you guys are curious to look at this, on Spotify, if you search specifically the Music of the Spheres album, it's like not the songs from the album, but the album itself, and then go to each song and scroll all the way down. At least I'm doing this on mobile. I don't know if it appears on desktop, but you get a little storyline box, and each song is a planet, has a planet, a language, and a description of the planet, and then a bit of backstory about each song.
That's really cool.
The like intro song is like this like very like, it's like literally the name of the song is the Saturn emoji, and it's like a minute long, and it's just kind of like in like an ethereal kind of like aquarium type opening, and it goes directly into the next song, which like has a super cool intro. It's like ba 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 ba. But like, anyways, sorry. Like they're all like all of the songs are like very unique and have like at least the song "Let Somebody Go." So what's his name? Chris something. The lead singer is married to Gwyneth Paltrow. I think that's her name.
Yeah.
And they divorced. And I'm almost 100% positive that the lyrics are like about her.
Yeah.
Because like you guys should take a little listen, but he's like basically just being like you're my lover, you're my friend, with like, but like sometimes you gotta let somebody go. I'm just like, damn, bro, that sucks. Yeah. But like it's basically like a few, like an ambient song, a few songs, like another ambient song, and then another song, and that's just kind of the whole structure of the album.
I feel like
it makes for
it's well structured.
A very cool concert.
It's well structured. Yeah, definitely.
Very well put together.
Was this the same tour that they like handed out all the wristbands to make like the arena look really fucking cool? Yeah, I've seen like clips of it.
The what's it called? They were like white plastic wristbands that had a big light on the wrist, and they basically, it was so cool because like if you like the song "Higher Power," which is the second song on the album, it has this very like punchy opening, like the ba 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 ba, but like, and in this arena, the bass was like not audible, it was like only feelable. So it's like you're just getting punched, like poof, poof, poof. And it was like, and then everybody's like wristbands were pulsing. It was just very, very cool.
I love how Pashy talk about this one. It's crazy because I have not listened to Coldplay in like a hot minute. But
so like, yeah, like I only listen to like occasional Coldplay songs, but like I've listened to this album over and over again.
Yeah,
and it's like really the only music album that I've done this with, and it's just like I said, it's because of like it's really the only music that I like actually also enjoyed as well as my family, and it's the only concert I've been to. And I went with my family and like some of my extended family, and it was very good, very fun experience.
It's definitely a nice connection to have as well. I feel like a lot of the music that my dad shows me, I have like a heavy connection with. I mean, my dad showed me when I was little like Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, and that's now like my favorite album of all time. In terms of the tracks on this album, I think my favorite was "Higher Power." Like I love the start of it. I think the drums, the drum beat on it, like the drums and the percussion were like really, really nice.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really solid start.
it's actually cool. It's like higher power. The planet's name is like it's like Kawatika. I don't want to butcher that. And it's described as the trash planet.
Ooh, okay.
And then yeah, and so my favorite song on the album is actually "Beautiful," but it's like spelled really funny. Like it's like beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it's all butchered, and like a lot of people didn't like this song originally because the singer is the lead singer, and then like a very distorted voice. People are like, "What the heck is this? I don't like this fake little voice." But like, I didn't really like it either. When like mid concert, I hadn't heard any of the Music of the Spheres songs at the concert, and I was like, "What is going on?" Like it didn't make sense. But then once I understood the point of the song, like which I'll explain in a second, and then also just listen to it more, it kind of grew on me, and now it's my favorite one.
Yeah.
But the basically this song, it's the Plant Planet.
Nice.
And essentially it's the vocal is processed and unusual because it's supposed to sound like an alien is singing the song. And basically, and like the lyrics are like a lot, very like about like being like beautiful and you love me, like blah 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 blah. So it's kind of just like it's an alien singing it, and but like they're still beautiful because it's like, it's talking about how like people can feel like aliens in their own home, stuff like that. Is it? I don't know. It's a cool song.
It's cool. I mean, I think I've seen the storyline thing done before for the 100 Gex. There was a 100 Gex remix album that like had a storyline that was all about like. It was like 100 Gex and the Tree of Clues is what the album was called, and it's like a lot of it was like fairy tale stuff, so it was like folklore and stuff like that, and it was really cool to have like a story. I've never seen that done before, so I was like, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to get the little trivia from Spotify.
I've had it,
and also don't even get me started. They got BTS on this album, baby.
I've never been like a massive K-pop person. Are you like a big K-pop?
No,
fan?
I'm not at all. I was just saying that as a joke because a lot of people are.
I've got to say, like at the moment, I've been having like this heavy theme of like solar system stuff because I just recently watched this like analog horror show on YouTube called like Gemini Home Entertainment, and that's about these like aliens and like space stuff. So I've been watching that, and then this is all about space, so it's a good theme going on here.
It's interesting because like they talk like it's like the album talks on a lot of things like People of the Pride is like a the resistance, blah blah blah. Like it's like one of those like against the resistance type deals. Also, People of the Pride is like a very rocky like song that doesn't mix with the other kind of songs from the album, and it's kind of cool because it's the Storm Planet. But it's just like they tell the Coldplay told a lot of different like stories and messages throughout this album, but like. It was cool that like how they tied it together under like it's like a different galaxy and it's a solar system of different planets that like we've never seen before. It's very cool.
See, with People of the Pride, I found that it transitioned like well between Heart. Like one thing I liked about the record is that I love pieces of work that transition all into like one piece, which I feel like this worked really well for. Like all of the tracks like moved into one. But with People of the Pride, I wasn't too much of a fan of it because I felt like it felt too, I don't know. When I was listening to it, I was like, this,
I felt that way too.
I was like, it sounds like it would be on an advert. Like I think my issue with this record that like prevents me from like really enjoying it is I feel like Coldplay are capable of doing so much more with their sound. But sometimes they just go for like the easy feel of things. If you know what I mean? Like they go with something that is safe. And I think they have and I feel like they did make it work with this because at least this has a coherent theme and at least it has like a set sound.
Biggest artist on Spotify.
Literally.
Like, and what they're doing works, bro.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah, I know what you're saying though.
I liked Heart because Jacob Collier's on it. And I'm a big fan of Jacob.
I love him.
I'm a big fan of Jacob Collier's work. His stuff that he did with Daniel Caesar's really good. If you've heard that, it's a good song with Daniel Caesar. But I still feel like there could have been potential with him that wasn't hit as much on this record. Like I didn't hear him as much as I wanted to, despite him being one of I feel like BTS's Future was quite good, but I feel like the Futures. I mean, Selena Gomez was alright as well, but I feel like. With the Futures, since there's so little of them on the tracks as a whole, I feel like they could have been used more to kind of elevate the album a bit. Especially, maybe I'm just biased because like I really like Jacob Collier and I wanted to hear him more on that song. But yeah,
it was like I haven't put much critique thought into it because, like, first time I heard it was at the concert.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of just like special. Like,
That's a good way of going.
You know how like people of the Pride opened like people on the left, people on the right, right? Like he's like saying that, like he was like actually like pointing to the left and right, and the wristbands were lighting up. It was so cool.
So cool.
He would be like, people on the left. He was being all dramatic and like pointing really firmly, and then like all the lights went up and then went back down. He's like, people on the right, and then
it's
and then he's like, let's go, and he starts sprinting down because it was like the stage, and then like in the middle of this arena. So it's a stadium, and they cut half of it. So it's like it's a half stadium, and so they have the stage at half field basically, and then there was this like really long and skinny, like basically like if like you imagine a runway that models walk on, just make it a lot longer and end it with a big circle. So he could basically go out from about half field to like quarter field. That's not the right terminology, but distance wise, about quarter of the way down the field. And so he's just like he's like on that end, the end of it. And he's like, people on the left, people on the right, and he's like, let's go. And he starts like sprinting back towards stage. It was like, whoa, like, and just like all the graphics were amazing. And I don't know.
I think it's a really interesting and unique way to kind of get.
I can't critique it. I can't critique it.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like there's a lot of albums like that with me that I just can't like be critical of. It's like very much guilty pleasures for me. But I think
exactly
with the kind of interaction with the audience, I think it's a really innovative way, in like unique way, to kind of work with the stage and the lighting and stuff like that. And I think it works with the album as well, because it's about the universe and solar system and stars. And I mean, I guess you could see each of the wristbands like little like bright stars and stuff. It's just so cool. I like really liked it. Like, despite what you think about the music, cool. I kept seeing videos of the concerts and gigs on TikTok, and I was like, "This is a sick setup." Like, it actually is really cool.
If they haven't already gone through the UK yet, you should try.
I think they have, because I saw a few. I saw a few of my friends go to the gig because I saw some like Instagram stories of it.
But, if any of you are listening to this, and Coldplay is coming towards you soon, because like they at each one of their tours. They've done like a tour for each of their albums, basically. They do like 40, 50 shows, and it goes for like at least a year. So it's like they were pretty early on when we like on the tour when we saw them.
Yeah.
And they're planning on doing 80 shows. So like they might be showing up near you. So I totally recommend this concert, because like even if you don't love Coldplay, like I can't speak to the quality of the concert compared to other concerts, because it's the only one I've been to.
Yeah.
But my whole family was like, that's the best concert I've ever been to. And they've been to a lot of concerts. Like my parents were saying it was the best concert they've ever been to. And they're almost 50. Like they've been to concerts.
That's nice. You
know? So it was amazing. Basically,
one track I really want to talk about is Coloratura, which is like the ending track.
Yes. That wasn't played at the concert.
Was it not? I thought it would be. No. I know it's like a 10-minute long track, but I really like.
It's it has a bit too much like time, because like they're trying to put on a performance. They can't have a 3-minute build up, like, so they didn't play it.
I think it's got really nice build up, and I think it's super calming as well. I'm like a sucker for piano riffs and like piano kind of sounds.
So you just described the song. It's really funny as like beautiful and calming, and the planet is Coloratura, and the description is the afterlife.
I see. It always see, and it works. I think it works as an ender to the record, because it's like it feels like a conclusion of life, I guess. And I don't know. I love the piano in it like so much.
Yeah.
So I would say Coloratura and Higher Power were definitely like my highlights of the record.
Those are really good.
Again, with a few of the other ones, like with Humankind, like I don't know, maybe like My Universe. I think some of them, I just feel like they could have done more with their sound, and the potential wasn't hit. But I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I totally see that.
I mean, I'm a hard person to like
to please.
To like, yeah. I mean, not even please. Like, I feel like I'm easy to please, but at the same time, it's like I feel like my music taste is very varied in the sense that it's hard for me not to enjoy something. So I did like that. Is there anything else you want to say about the record? You go for it. For
you people at home who haven't heard of Coloratura or haven't listened to it yet, it's a 10-minute long song, and it's like we said, it's very like calming and it's like a good ender. And it's like I wouldn't call it a rock ballad, but like it kind of is. They went more like a classical approach, like as in like classical music, how like you'd go and listen to like Beethoven's symphony.
Yeah.
And like it's a 40-minute long thing. It was like that type of thing where it was like a 3-minute, no words, very like not, I guess, bare bones, like not a lot of instruments build up. And then had lead singer Chris came in, he's like singing, it's very pretty, and the music, you know, gets more intense, and then it kind of calms back down, and then the album's over the course of 10 minutes. It was very cool.
It's nice.
Take a little listen, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
Is there anything else you want to say before we round it off? Because we're on like an hour now, so.
No, that's good.
It's good.
I think I got my piece in.
Well, if that's the case, then we'll move on to the film choice of this week.
Oh yeah, rewatched it last night.
Well, I don't even get me started. I'm gonna fucking honestly. Anyway, so yeah, The Matrix, directed by the Wachowski sisters.
So I rewatched it last night to like make sure I had everything fresh. And oh my goodness, I forgot how good it is.
So I haven't seen. Is it Matrix Resurrections? Is that what the fourth one's called?
So there's 4 total now, but you really only need the first 3. So like the first 4, like they changed Morpheus. They changed Agent Smith. Agent Smith is the dude who's like Mr. Anderson, like the iconic agent. They like changed it all, so it's like it was still a good movie, but like it did not have the same feel as the other Matrix movies, you know.
With me, I put a tweet out. Right when I was watching it. And I'm gonna read out this tweet. It says, "Watching The Matrix for one of the podcast episodes, and I'm really struggling to understand it. Please do not judge me when this please do not judge me when this episode eventually releases, and I can't say fuck all about it. Thank you." Because I was messaging my friends who are also film students, and I was like, I don't understand this fucking film. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And they were like, you're actually moronic.
Oh my God.
It's so easy to understand. I'm like, what the fuck? No, it isn't.
So
I still enjoyed it, though.
As a kid, so actually not as a kid. I probably watched this movie for the first time 5 years ago. I had no idea what was going on. It was like, I was like, what? And like my dad had to keep pausing it and explaining things. But watching the other two movies definitely helps because it explains Zion better. It shows Zion, and like if you want any explanations, I can explain that for you now. But also, like I guess, what was your favorite part of the movie?
I understood it the more it went on. I would say I significantly enjoyed the second half more than the first half because the fight scenes in the shooting scenes fucking rocked. So good. They're like so good. And obviously when Neo kind of finally understands his true potential, he's just going ham, man.
Just stops bullets.
He's going crazy.
By the way, last 10 minutes of the movie, Neo revives himself, stops bullets, and then literally flies.
Yeah. Because at the end, also, yeah, spoilers for Matrix song. At the end, when he's at the fucking phone booth and then just like flies like Superman, bro. So based.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, first of all, the movie opens up and it's like, first 3 minutes, right? And like Trinity's in a room and it's just like, are you being traced? She's like, no. And then it cuts to outside and the police officers are coming in and then the agents roll up, right? It's like the first time you've seen an agent. And like, so like if you've never seen this movie, you're like, what's going on? And like he says to the guy, like the police officer is like, you know, all fresh with him and he's like, I sent 2 units. And then Mr. Agent Smith looks at him and he's like, no, Lieutenant.
Yeah, they're already dead.
Your men are already dead. Yeah. And then it cuts to Trinity absolutely beating ass within the first 3 minutes. Like, and first of all, it's just cool because she's like kicking the shit out of people. But then it's like, you still don't know what's going on. And she does this like jump kick and like time freezes. And she like kicks the shit out of this police officer. He goes flying.
Crazy.
She runs across the walls. And then the last guy, she like takes this guy's gun, like while he's still holding it, shoots his friend, and then this dude's standing directly behind her, and she full vertical kicks him in the face. Like, her leg comes from below her and goes 180 degrees up and kicks him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
And, sorry, I cussed.
No, it's fine. No, I'm exactly the same. When I talk about films I absolutely love, I'm like, this happens, and then this happens, and this happens, and it's just so good.
And then on top of that, a freaking awesome chase scene. Like, of the agent chasing Trinity over the rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And then she does that massive jump.
Her and Agent Smith doing that massive jump, and then the cops are like, "That's impossible!" And then that's just like your first view into the Matrix, and it's like, what? It's like what just happened? And then it cuts to like Neo in his bed. It's like, okay, like what's going on here? But
with me, I adore like heavy stylized films, and
Matrix is one of those. I feel like
especially the color correction. It's like when they're in the Matrix, it's all like green and shit. And a lot of it's just like a major heavy like core green palette. And just the set design as well there's a shot of them when they're like first going on a Morpheus's like ship, and there's just like wires everywhere and computers, and it just looks
it's like
so
very like
sick.
Budget almost. Like
it's so
because it's like the human resistance. It's like
what I loved, again, spoilers for the film, was like, the guy who like kind of betrays them. I was like, it was obviously he makes a deal with the agent when he's at the restaurant, and you're like, okay, this deal's been made, he's gonna fucking betray them. But it's been so long that when that deal is made, you're like, maybe he isn't, maybe he's gonna decide not to. And then when you kind of come to the terms, well, this was me personally, I was like, oh no, he's not gonna do it anymore, like he's not done anything yet. He then suddenly like
killed 3 people,
and I was like, "What? No!" I was like, I did my silly little gasp. I was like, "Oh my god!"
So I actually thought that part of the movie, I had mixed it up with a part that happened in either the second or third movie. So I won't talk about what actually happens. But I was like, I thought I knew the deaths were coming, but I thought there was also something else that was gonna happen. But that didn't happen. But like just the things about the movie, like the way Agent Smith speaks. He's just like so slow and drawn out, like Mr. Anderson. It's just like, oh my god. And like I forgot about this line, but it's freaking like when they capture Mr. Anderson and they're like, talking to him like he's still like, a resident of like the Matrix, and they're like, well, we'll scrub your record if you work for us, and he's like, how about I give you the finger and you give me my phone call? And then Agent Smith goes, tell me, Mr. Anderson, what good is a phone call if you are unable to speak?
And then
his mouth melts together. It's like, whoa!
It's so good.
It's like, what's happening?
I remember seeing I remember when I was really little, I remember seeing the scene where they're in the car, like taking the bug out of his like his stomach.
And he's like, that's real.
I was like, Jesus Christ, that's real. I remember being like scared shitless of that when I was a kid, because I just walked in and my parents were watching The Matrix, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then I watched it, and I was like,
you finally watched it.
One thing I also realized is there's 2 parts. Who's the guy that betrayed them? What's he called? Cypher. So there's 2 parts, like 2 lines of dialogue that Cypher says in the film. It's my silly little like music brain like going wild. Is one line he says, I forgot what he says, but like he says it, and I was like, I've definitely heard that.
Where is it?
It's like,
do you remember where he said it?
He's having a conversation with what's the girl called?
Trinity.
Trinity. I can't remember what he says, but I was like, I've heard that in a lo-fi hip hop song before. And then there's a part where Neo scares him and he goes, "Whoa!" Scare me, yeah. That is in.
He scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, I heard that "whoa," and I was like, I've heard that before. And there's this rapper I really, really like called JPEG Mafia, and there's a song he did called Thug Tears, and it's sampled in that song. Yeah, it goes "whoa," cool. And I was like, my little sample brain was going. Brrr.
Was it the scene where Trinity brought him food? Or brought Neo food, and then she closes the door and Cypher's there, and he's like, "You never brought me food." He's like,
it's something like that. Like, that it was the line. There's just something about him. It's that. That's like, the line. Yeah.
Just the camera work on the red pill, blue pill scene, where he's like holding each pill in his hand, and the shot is of his forehead, but his like reflective glasses, and you see each pill like reflected in each lens in his hands while he describes them. It's so cool. And then also like the dojo fight scene.
Yes.
When they're in the training program.
Good. It goes so hard.
It's like it was like one of the first, besides the Trinity fight scene, it was like one of the like first like really badass fight scene.
It goes so hard. And I think as well, one thing to talk about a lot is obviously this was made in
1999, exactly.
Yeah, so a lot of the
incredible.
CG...
It still holds up.
The CG still holds up, and even if the CG doesn't hold up in some respects, it works with what it is, because it's this idea of not knowing what's real and, kind of dimensions
they
and
get kind
shit.
of philosophical with it. They're like, what is real? Because like if you define real as what you can see, taste, feel, touch, then real is just a series of electrical signals. It's like
I love directorial styles that are also like over the top. And I think what I liked that the Wachowski sisters did really well is it was like, oh my god, it felt really like over exaggerated a lot of the time, and people will kill me for saying this, but a lot of it reminded me of like fucking Spy Kids and like Robert Rodriguez ass style. But I think it's just like,
I like low key see where you're saying that from too. That's funny.
I love it though.
And then this is probably the most iconic scene of the movie besides Trinity beating up all those cops. The building storming scene where they have Morpheus and Neo and Trinity storm the building lobby and just like kill the guards, and then the like army people come in, and it's just like a 3-minute scene of them sprinting around with like the walls exploding as they like beat the hell out of these guys. Like it's so fun to watch. It's like the first time me and my brother, we watched this movie with my dad for the first time when I was like 15 and he was like 13, and we were just both like, oh my god, like we were losing our minds. It was the coolest thing ever. And oh my lord,
it's so good. I mean, when they're on the top of the building, and obviously you get that classic like Neo like bending himself to get away from the bullets, and then there's that the shot which is so nice is the one of Trinity with the gun, and it's like this wide like fisheye lens looking ass shot, and it's just so good. And also I love when they were like, I don't know how to fly a helicopter. 2 seconds. Yeah, can I just get this like hack?
Give me a pilot manual.
Just give me a manual. Just like instantly, it fucking goes hard.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's like
it rocks.
And then I think it's just so cool that they made that movie in 1999. This is really cool.
And I think again with this like film, it falls under this thing I say time and time again, especially with me because I'm just so dumb with films. Is that some films I don't understand that I don't want to return to. I feel like fail is like a piece of media, but I feel like ones that are confusing but you want to return to them to understand them more. It's like when stuff is successful, and this is definitely the case of like I want to rewatch this or watch the sequels to understand it more.
Watch the sequel. I'd say watch 2 and 3, and then if you still don't really know what's going on, then watch 1 again, because 2 and 3 are definitely like they like actually show Zion. Because like basically the whole world as it was explained, like Morpheus when he explained the state of the world, like just the way Morpheus talks the whole movie, he's like very cryptic, like figure it out yourself, Neo. And like Neo doesn't really ask that many questions. It's like as a viewer, it is kind of confusing. So it's like, here to clarify, essentially humans made machines that became sentient and then enslaved humans to become their energy source, and then the last remaining human city is an underground city called Zion, and the whole prerogative of the machines is to destroy Zion so that like they can stop messing with their matrix. And so it's like that's why he was like torturing Morpheus for the Zion mainframe codes instead of killing him, right? Because that's like the last like human outpost basically. And so that like that's Zion, and their whole mission is to defend Zion and beat the machines basically.
I understood it more as it went on, but I still feel like I could understand it more, definitely. And I think going into it knowing more things would probably make it more enjoyable for me, but I still loved it so much.
Definitely watching it back after the first 3 movies, it's like, or after having seen all the movies multiple times, it's like very easy to understand, but that's also because I've seen it so much. But like you basically, right? It's movie number 1 and Neo like unlocked his powers basically. So it's like there's 2 more movies.
I gotta watch them.
What's he gonna do?
Like I said, awesome. I think I still loved it on the base level of like cool action film with good fight scenes and stuff. And I think it significantly changed the kind of like action genre at the time, and it's a very pioneering film, so we gotta appreciate it.
It really was.
Yeah.
Like and then like that final scene at the end of the movie, like when the homeless guy turns into an agent,
and
destroys the phone right as Trinity gets out, and so it's just Neo, and they're all looking at the screen like telling him to run, because like remember earlier in the movie Morpheus had warned him that no one who's fought an agent head to head had survived, and that what they do to survive is run. And then like Cypher also said that to him too. He was like, if you ever see an agent, run. And then
Mhm.
Neo turned, considered running, and then turned around, started fighting the agent, and it looked
Yeah.
like he was losing. And they're like, what's he doing? And then Morpheus is like, he's beginning to believe. And then he kills Smith, but like doesn't actually kill him, but like gets away. And then
Mhm.
Smith comes back out of the train because he turned one of the people back
Yeah.
into himself. And so then Neo starts running, and then
In that
that
part,
final
where,
scene
in that
happens.
part where he's like, "My name is Neo," and he like just like fucking gets him off the train. Oh, it rocks.
Yeah.
God bless Keanu
And then-
Reeves, man.
And then he jumped, like, and then at the end, like, right, like, yeah, like he's running, trying to get out before the Sentinels destroy the ship in real life. And he, but he doesn't know the Sentinels are there.
Mhm.
He's just trying to get away from the agents. And he gets shot 3 times. He gets pronounced dead by the agents. They start walking away. And then Neo stands up, stops all their bullets, like, jumps into Agent
Yeah.
Smith and blows him up. And then flies away.
One thing I can say that I didn't really like as much is that like when Trinity was like, "Oh, the Oracle said I would find the one and I would love them and you're the one I love," and then she kissed him
Yeah.
and then he came back to life. I was like, that's fucking corny as shit. But like, fair enough. We knew to see him be a badass again. But like, I don't know. I feel like it could have been done a different way. But yeah. I want to say, I
there's,
still got so much to say, but we're on like fucking 180.
Like I want to explain the Oracle better than the movie did, but the knowledge I have of the Oracle is from the sequels.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
yeah.
I'm not going to say
Gotta
anything
keep that
because
wrap, gotta keep
I
that
think
wrap.
you'll probably watch them. So I'm not going to say anything.
We're on an hour and 20, so we'll probably have to wrap it up. Is there any
And-
final words you want to say about The Matrix?
At the Matrix, no. I think I got through all my notes.
Nice.
I just think that, like, for me personally, film wise, I don't really do a lot of critiquing. I do a lot of like you know how like everybody was like, oh my god, like the last trilogy of the Star Wars sucked, and they're like, I hate it, like they did such a bad job. I'm just like, oh my god, more movies in the Star Wars universe. I love the Star Wars universe. Like I'm very easy to please movie wise. So it's like
Sometimes
I
it's
just,
nice to just to
like-
enjoy things like that, though. You know,
like then like yeah, I just like enjoy the movie, and like, you know, like a lot of movies I've watched from that are older are because of my dad. He'll be like,
yeah,
you need to watch this because you have to. He's like, to like exist in this world, you have to watch this movie. He's like, to understand cultural references, to like blah 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 blah, whatever
Yeah.
the reason may be. He like makes us watch these movies, and like sometimes we're like, oh, I don't want to watch a movie from 1975, and then it's like, and then we watch like Austin Powers or whatever like that, and we're like, that movie was freaking awesome, and like, you know, you like, so it's like got a bit of sentimental
I
value
find that
too.
at film school sometimes they make me watch like films I was just really not like enjoying it all, and I'm like, why can't we
Yeah.
watch the little Disney films? La la la.
Yeah, like
But,
what matters is that like it's like my dad kind of like we watched it as a family, and so it's like I don't know, it has
Yeah.
good memories, and also is a cool movie. It's so cool. It's a cool concept, cool execution. Like it feels very justified to
Yeah.
have those like superhuman movements, and like instead of being they're like superheroes, it's just like they're plugging into a program that they've learned to manipulate so they can move fast. It's like
Mhm.
it's like a more believable concept
Yeah.
too. I don't know.
I think that's a nice way to round off because we're on an hour and 20. It's a good round off. So that's that episode of Furreal. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Do you want to like plug your shit before we finish?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I am. I'm Pixel Penguin on all platforms. With the eyes are ones. So
Nice.
Pixel and in Penguin, the eyes are ones on every platform. Because it's a unique name. No one stole it. Hooray! If you guys show up to any of my streams or videos, tell me you're from the Furreal podcast. I like to know where people come from.
Nice. All links will be in the description of the YouTube video and stuff. For me, you can always catch me on my Twitter at MattyFeelsRuff, MattyFeelsRuff. Just random Twitter stuff. I always post updates about the podcast as well. My letterboxd. Hopefully, by the time this episode's came out, I've like caught up with my
In like
letterboxd
a year.
reviews. Yeah, and like no, not like a year, like it's like a month.
I'm messing with you.
So my letterbox is at Matthew_Batey, spelled BAYTEE, and yeah, that's basically it. The podcast application form should still be open by now if you want to apply to be on the show. The links in the
That's what I
description.
did.
Yep, and look where you got. You know, you're here. It's crazy.
I know. I'm famous now.
Yeah, super famous. A-lister furry, man.
Oh my god, yeah. That's all. I just gotta be bigger than Whiskey Dingo, and then I'll know I'm doing something right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for listening, guys, and see you guys in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Bye.